While everyone is talking about the iPhone that's coming this month, I have decided that I want to talk about the iPad and all the rumors that are being spread around it. So let's get to it. Starting with the iPad mini, no major changes are expected aside from a new processor. If we follow the last mini update, they gave it the A15 in 2021. That was the last big change where they changed the design. And they gave it the A15, which at that point was the newest processor. So if we follow that, they should give it the A17 processor if there are enough to go around, which would be the 3 nanometer, the first 3 nanometer chip that Apple will be releasing. So I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. But if you don't care about any of those things, it is still a great device. You can purchase it now. It won't be drastically different performance wise. It might have a difference battery wise. So that is something to keep in mind, especially since it's the iPad mini. It all obviously has a smaller battery than any other iPad. This probably won't happen until 2024. So it is something for you guys to keep in mind. Next, we're going to be talking about the cheapest iPad, which is the 9th generation. It is hard to know what Apple is planning to do with its last Lightning and home button iPad. But if the EU law is something to go by, we might see the end of the OG design in 2024. Unless Apple decides to update it with a USB-C and keep the old design. Nah, Apple would never do that, would they? Moving on to the iPad 11th generation, which is expected to be the next update of the 10th generation, with what's the new design. Uh, this is the weirdest iPad that there is. It's the only iPad with a landscape camera. Is an iPad with a USB-C connector, but it still uses the Apple Pencil that has a Lightning port. This is just really weird. They could either replace both the 10 and 9 and just keep the 11, or they could remove the 11, keep the 10 at the price of the 9. And I know I'm saying a lot of numbers, but try to keep up. I know it's weird. And then have the 11 replace number 10. Uh, that it might be kind of the move that Apple would make. They kept the Series 3 around for many, many years. They actually kept it around until they were not able to update it anymore with the software. At that point, they decided to stop selling as new the Apple Watch Series 3. So this might be a move that Apple would be willing to make, but we'll have to wait until 2024 to see what actually happens. After that, the next we're going to be talking about is the iPad Air. The iPad Air, they say that it will adopt the M3 processor since the previous version was updated to the M1. Now, my personal opinion is that that won't be the case. I don't think that won't be the case. I believe that when they decided to add M1 to the iPad Air, they did it as a way to let people know that they are moving the iPad Air to the M processors, but it won't stay with the same processor as the Pros because it still has an M1 processor and the iPad Pro is already on M2. So based on that, I think that what will happen is that they will update the iPad Air to the M2. No other changes aside from hopefully them switching the camera angle to the landscape mode. Also, they should do this for all iPads, but just in case, moving the iPad Air camera, a selfie camera, to the landscape orientation. That would also be the only other significant change that they should make. But it is my opinion that they will just switch it from M1 to M2. It'll not jump from M1 to M3. That is, again, my opinion. That's what I believe that will happen. I believe that if you want M3, you're going to have to buy the ones that we're going to be talking about now, which are the iPad Pros. The iPad Pro is rumored to have its biggest update since 2018. It'll have the 3 nanometer M3 processor and OLED screen with thinner bezels. It is rumored that it might have a notch type thing. Nobody knows how yet it will look like. Hopefully it will have an always on display since it'll be an OLED display. The camera moved to the horizontal position. No word if there will be an Apple Pencil 3, but fingers crossed that they will hopefully do that. New pencil with new features is sorely needed. So hopefully they will do that. Sad news is this will probably cause a price increase, just like the iPhones is rumored to have. This I believe more than the iPhone price hike, because since there are more actual changes happening between one version to the next, I do think that in this case the price increase is actually justified. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that is iPad OS. Apple in 2019 decided to differentiate the OS from iPads and the OS from iPhones. So they called iOS and iPad OS separately. But they have actually not done anything to differentiate any of them aside from negative things. Now there are features that come to iOS that take an entire year to come to iPad OS. So I think that they have not done anything that is actually better. And in my opinion, they might keep adding M3, M4s, and 5 processors as the years go on. But unless you do something to increase the capability of iPad OS, it doesn't matter what you do. It is not worth having big M3 or M2 or M1 processors on an iPad when the iPad operating system is not going to let you use maybe even half of the power that the M1 has, so let alone M2 and M3 when they come out. I will probably be purchasing the M3 iPad. I know I just said that it's not worth it, but I will probably be purchasing it. But there's a specific reason. My iPad is the one from 2018, and the battery is bad. The battery life is horrible on my iPad. And it is my opinion that it is pointless for me to spend money to have the batteries replaced on a device that this will probably be the last new operating system it will have. I'm pretty sure that they will not give iPad OS 18 to the 2018 iPad. I know it's weird, it's stupid, because the A12X is the one that came before the A12Z, and the A12Z could run Mac OS. So I'm pretty sure that it could probably run whatever iPad OS they have, but since they started cutting out features already, it is my opinion that they will most probably not even update to iPad OS 18. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below what your opinion is. Do you agree with me that unless they do something with iPad OS, the iPads are stuck, and they used to be the kings? Then they're still great tablets. They have more tablet-oriented apps than any other out there, but they still have the problem that the OS is very limited compared to maybe even the Samsung Galaxy Tab. Even though it's running Android, it doesn't actually look a lot like Android. It looks like something else. They have done their own operating system for it. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below what your opinion is. While you're down there, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell so you can get notified when we have new videos. If you have a Gmail, you have a YouTube account, so go ahead and sign in. And the only way to leave that like, not just for me, but for any other YouTuber you like, is for you to be logged in with your account. As always, we're available on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and obviously YouTube at JR Abrams Tech, so you can stay up to date with the latest news and rumors about tech. Until next time.